example 3, we want to apply that reasoning of organizing our work like we did in grade school in order to make our algebra here, oops, let's scroll off the page there, to make our algebra as easy as possible. We're going to copy down the bigger one up top, and then we'll go ahead and copy the other one below it. And so the first bit of multiplication is to multiply this -1 to all 3 of them. So -1 times -2 is +2. -1 times -3x is +3x. And -1 times x squared is -x squared. Now if we go back to what we did back in grade school, is we then moved on to this 4, and we took him to all 3 of those. Now we did have a placeholder, but here's the beauty of the way that we're doing this. We don't need the placeholder if we just keep track of what we're multiplying. So we would normally put a placeholder of 0 here. 4x times -2 is -8x. And look, he lines up beautifully with the other x person. Now if I multiply 4x times -3x, I get -12x squared. And then 4x times x squared gets me +4x cubed. And now again, as far as the combining of like terms is concerned, everything is lined up beautifully. We have 2 plus 0 is 2. Those are like terms. -8x and 3x, those are like terms. That gets us -5x. -1 x squared and -12x squared gets us -13x squared. And then we copy down the 4x cubed. So again, that same organization that worked well for us in grade school can work well for us here in algebra as well. It organizes your work, it makes sure that you combine all the like terms, and make sure you didn't forget any multiplication. Now the one tricky thing we do have to be aware of if we're doing this is that we got to make sure that if there's a polynomial that's missing a term, that we account for that in the same way as we accounted for numbers like 202. The number 202, we have a placeholder of 0 there. And so similarly, if I had x squared plus 2, and I was trying to multiply that by, let's say, x plus 1, then we'd want to account for that placeholder by saying I have x squared, I have 0 x's plus 2, and I'm going to multiply that by x plus 1. So that's where you'd want to account for any placeholders if you want to use this organization.